Hey Floyd, what was your reaction to the fight, man? What was your reaction to the fight, man?
You gotta just breed more action. That's just boring as far as I'm
What happened around?
Yeah. He got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but
The fight, Roach had something that we all wasn't expecting. He might have had power. His distance was good. He came in ready, prepared to fight.
Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather weighed in on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach bout, sharing his thoughts on the outcome. The boxing world exploded after the fight ended in controversy. Shakur Stevenson also reacted strongly in insisting it wasn't a draw. Roach won. He criticized Davis for being overconfident and underestimating Roach's skills. Stevenson believes Davis assumed Roach wasn't a real threat, which led to his struggles in the ring. Fans echoed Stevenson's frustration.
I mean, we're going to see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I always said this. I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was going to go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance with Gervonta, your confidence has gone a little bit more up.
My confidence been up. I've been all the
Shakur tweeted stating about the Tank vs. Roach match: "The mighty hit tonight for the people that don't know about boxing, and the fight went exactly how I thought it was going to go." Fans agreed, demanding a rematch. Renowned boxer and media personality Jake Paul expressed his disappointment in Davis's performance, stating that the fight lacked the intensity expected from a championship bout. Paul remarked that Davis needed to create more action, likening the match to a sparring session rather than a competitive fight. He further commented that this was not the Gervonta Davis he was familiar with, implying a deviation from Davis's usual aggressive style.
you gotta just breed more action. That's just boring as far as I'm concerned. God damn, that's not the
Middleweight champion Demetrius Andrade weighed in on the fight, acknowledging Lamont Roach's impressive skills showcased during the bout. Andrade opined that the match should not have been ruled a draw, suggesting that Roach had done enough to secure a victory. Despite the controversial decision, Andrade praised the overall quality of the fight, highlighting the competitiveness and skill displayed by both fighters.
We showcased that, and man, we had a good fight overall. Good IQ fight.
You know, honestly, do you think Roach pulled it off?
I'm not gonna say that. I don't think that the draw is good. Other than that, it was a great fight. We'd love to see it again. It's me again, Caleb Grant, Chalo, Mendia, Edgar Belanga. Where the fuck these motherfuckers at? This shit happened. You already know. I'm playing. Let's get this shit popping, man. Time is ticking. 50, 50, 50.
I mean, 100%. What do you think about Berlanga?
You gotta win that. You got the show.
Lightweight contender expressed his disagreement with the draw decision, pointing out a critical moment where Davis took a knee during the fight. Cruz argued that the judges and referee failed to award Roach the appropriate points for this occurrence, which could have influenced the final outcome. He implied that this oversight contributed to the unjust draw decision.
Pues ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea, ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Lamont Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para todas las personas.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no, creo que le quedamos de ver la caída de Lamont Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo ver, no hizo válida la caída, no le hizo control.
¿Qué le fue mal en esa pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para que los jueces le den esa pelea? ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó un solo round a un solo golpe para poderlo bloquear y cual toma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Bueno, creo que la Tank iba a presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que tuviera más objetivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues sería muy agradable, así que la primera estuvo muy buena y creo que la segunda buena.
Former world champion reflected on the bout, describing it as a great fight that showcased the talents of both boxers. Regarding Gervonta Davis's performance, Garcia noted that not every night in boxing represents a fighter's best, suggesting that Davis may have had an off night. He emphasized the unpredictable nature of the sport and the challenges fighters face in maintaining peak performance consistently.
Daddy, you go down on that. We're going to go to the fight.
Stay with me, right?
Danny, what you think of the fight, man? You surprised by the outcome? It was a close fight.
Lamont Roach? No, I think Lamont was from the fight. It's opportunity of your lifetime. You did a good job. You had a great fight.
What about Tank Davis? I mean, I was
What was
expecting him to
wrong
knock
with
him out.
Every night in boxing is not your best. You feel me? But you usually got the
Would you
draw.
like to see a rematch of this or jump into the fight with Super Stevenson?
Whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. It was a good fight.
Tag for fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round. Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand, and that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had. Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots and wound up throwing more punches than he likes to throw. To get that done, he tagged him both on the chin and to the belly, etc., and didn't seem to hurt Roach. And that was another surprise in the overall.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley shared his thoughts on the fight's outcome, stating that draws are generally disappointing for both fans and the fighters involved. He highlighted that many expected Gervonta Davis to secure a knockout victory, especially considering that Lamont Roach had moved up in weight class for this fight. Lampley suggested that Davis's inability to knock out Roach could be seen as a setback in his career, potentially affecting his standing in the lightweight division bag for fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had, as Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots, and he wound up throwing more punches than he likes to throw to get that done. He tagged him both on the chin and to the belly, etc., and couldn't seem to hurt Roach. And that was another surprise in the overall picture of the fight. Undefeated welterweight champion Terence Crawford took to social media to express his astonishment at the referee's decision not to count Davis's kneeing incident as a knockdown. Crawford's tweet highlighted his disbelief, suggesting that the officials may have overlooked standard boxing rules during the fight. "I never seen someone take a knee, and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgot the rules for tonight, lefto." And that right? But Davis took off some of the stag with the punch. But still, Roach happed he took a knee. What is he doing? He forgot his former 3-division world champion Abner Maher's call for a rematch between Davis and Roach, asserting that Roach performed true to his capabilities, which many, including Davis, may have underestimated. Maher suggested that this underestimation contributed to the fight's outcome, and that a rematch would allow both fighters to adjust their strategies accordingly. I thought Roach closer the last 2 rounds. And then if you think about it, that knockdown was a knockdown. He took a knee, they should have counted. And those 2 points, like Roach said, it would have been on his favor, and he would have won the fight. But I hope they run it back again, which I'm sure they will, and we get more of a clear, victory for either side. How much of tonight was Lamont Roach being Lamont Roach? And how much of it was Gervonta Davis maybe not being at his best? More It was more, yeah, well said. I think it was more of Lamont being Lamont. A lot of people were not expecting that he was catching the punches really well, took in well, great combinations, and just stood in the pocket and fought him right in the center of the ring. Even Tank was not expecting that, and I think that threw him off. And great again. Great performance by Lamont Roach and Tank Davis. He's got to fight more. This not as consistent with the fighting, and again the timing probably wasn't there for him. But what does it say about Tank, man? Some people had him as high as top 5, top 10 pound. What that's going to say about Tank now? Obviously people are going to talk, and people are going to put them probably take him down on the Theffer list. And now it is what it is, but so that's why Tank has to come back and really get that rematch and really make his statement, if it's with them or whoever else. And lastly, people wanted to know who's the best lightweight. Is on Shakur Tank. Do you think he could still beat those guys, or did Lamont show some things tonight that those guys are just lawns? Definitely their L-man can fight any of these guys. A Washington, D.C. based boxer commented on the potential repercussions of the fight's controversial outcome, expressing concern that Gervonta Davis's young and passionate fan base might react negatively, potentially leading to unrest. He noted a palpable negative energy surrounding the event, emphasizing the need for responsible management of fan reactions in such high-stakes situations. My reaction for this Tank versus Roach fight: I'm really disappointed, to be honest. It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth, and the reason why is they leaving a negative energy out there, and a lot of y'all might not understand because I don't come from underserved environments or was never incarcerated or things like that. I'm from DC, and I know how we get active. I know people from Baltimore, and I know how they get active when we talk about rivalries. Ours are cool when I'm talking Commanders, Cowboys, stuff like that. That's friendly and cool. We talk out trash, but when we talking about when it's negative, and we know that Tank have a young fall and things like that, and I'm seeing certain people at these press conferences, violent individuals, and things can really turn out bad. So yeah, I understand they selling the fight and things like that, but certain things it can get real bad. I don't want to see nobody lose their life. Let this be a healthy rivalry. Y'all going their best man win and fight over it. Should be all love. We got to be careful of the message that we putting out, was Mr. White in his post-fight remarks. Tank Davis acknowledged that the match was beneficial for the sport of boxing, praising Lamont Roach as a formidable opponent. He admitted that fans expect knockouts from him given his track record, and that a draw is not the desired outcome for a fighter of his reputation. Davis's comments reflect his awareness of the high expectations placed upon him and his recognition of Roach's skills. Good night for the sport. I didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds. So it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I can get that rematch, cause I know what I can do in a fight. But it's cool. Okay, questions. Okay, Tanka. It's Kate with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was right, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision? I didn't slam my glove on the canvas, okay? Maybe I mistook for my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision on nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that? But it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what it called. Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was. Calvin Ford, John Davis's trainer, reiterated his previous assessments of Lamont Roach, emphasizing that he had always recognized Roach's talent and skill. Set Ford's comments suggest that Team Davis was aware of the challenges Roach would present, acknowledging the competitive nature of the bout. Good night for the sport. I didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds. So it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I can get that rematch, cause I know what I can do in the fight. But it's cool. Okay, questions. Okay, Tank. Is Cake with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision? I didn't slam my glove on the canvas, okay? Maybe I mocked for my vantage points, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision on nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that? But it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what it called. Yeah, man. Roach's performance was widely praised, with many saying he was the first fight to truly challenge Davis. Fans have called for a rematch, believing that Roach deserves another chance to